Hello, everyone. This is Woody Collins with Congo Helping Hands, and it's another day of talking about the Congo. As a matter of fact, it's our 107th episode of talking about Congo. We're getting up. We've already got into three digits, so we're going to continue right on rocking through and talking about the Congo. And today's subject it is your questions. And got a question regarding, would you consider moving to the Congo? And I go, okay, yeah, all right. There are some pros and cons to working in the Congo and living there. And I guess that's what they intended, is living in the Congo. So, let's talk about the pros and cons of it. Number one, it's definitely cheaper, as we probably realize that the Congo is a developing country where the typical person don't make but $2 a day. So therefore, uh, you could live cheaply off the in the Congo. Things are not relatively inexpensive. So, that's a great plus. And however, not only for food, but also for housing. Housing is relatively cheap, except for in Kinshasa, where most of the government agencies or stuff people are located. I think the rents there are a little bit higher for major, probably not for a major city, but I'm thinking about more in the country. In the rural areas, it's relatively inexpensive to live there. Also, so it's cheaper, food and housing. Number two, it is a slower pace of life. I don't know what it is. It's like the warmer temperatures that you have there year round. You don't have a winter or fall. It's always kind of like a summer or spring, and it just goes from a little bit hot to really hot. So there's a slower pace. It's like mañana. People don't get too excited. And if you get excited, you probably wouldn't last that long there because things do move at a slower pace. And so you can take advantage of that. You can relax a little bit more. And if you can learn to adapt to that slower pace of life, you also have fewer choices of things. You're not going to be saying, oh, where am I going to go out to eat tonight? Or where am I going to go to the movies tonight? Turning on the television, which station are you going to watch? There's only a few television stations and they don't come on till mostly in the evening. And unless you get cable, then you would have some of the modern, you can get a cable satellite from Europe. And so you can see some of a lot of the channels that you see in Europe. However, uh, the third thing is it's really a family centric country. And that's what I found out when you go to other places outside of the United States. When I was living in Germany, I noticed that it was very family centric. The families get together on weekends, do things. Uh, Birthday parties for a family member was a big occasion, and you just didn't drop off a card and says, "Okay, happy birthday," or not even in this case, or sometimes not even showing up for a birthday party. So it's really family centric and the people are friendly. So you would get absorbed into a family and be treated as a family member. So it would be, fantastic. All of a sudden you develop a second family. So the things going for it is cheaper, warmer temperatures and a slower pace of life. And also the people are friendly and family centric. Okay, let's think about some of the cons. Cons, I would say the infrastructure. You don't have electricity, but you can work out electricity. You can get, get your solar power system set up where you can have all the modern convenience of electricity because solar power is electricity. But you have to just, uh, use it in a good way, meaning to say is don't waste it. Like you won't leave lights on because you know that draws down your battery. And you also, even if you run a generator, you wouldn't want to run your generator all times of the day and night. So you kind of make special use of electricity and treat it for what it is. The second con, it has a weaker health system. So if you have any health issues or are concerned about health issues, it's not a good place to go. A lot of the people, the Congolese people who can afford it, they go to South Africa to, for medical treatment. I'll go to Europe. So you're left with a not available, uh, medicines. You got excellent doctors there who are familiar with most of the things that you may run into, but it is still a less of, you won't have specialists and things like that. You can't get health care in Kinshasa, but you're going to have to go looking and so forth for it. Third thing, um, I would call this, leisure time and recreation. I find that it really disappoints me because you got all this nice warm weather. There's not a lot of, uh, places that you can go swimming, parks, things like that. So to me, it's a little bit limited on leisure activity. And I think they haven't really developed that because they're still under the European system of working where they work for, uh, 5.5 days. They work, Monday through Friday, and then they work till maybe 12 to 2 on Saturday. So when you work in those times, you don't think about having, uh, recreation and, and leisure type things. Also because right there, in the Congo, you're on the equator, so you have 12 hours of pretty much 12 hours of darkness and 12 hours of sunlight. Uh, when you start thinking about, what you're going to do, uh, it's a long evening, it's kind of, sometimes it gets kind of depressing. So not having that leisure type things that you can do, kind of would drive you up a wall and that's maybe the reason a lot of people work 5.5 days because it's more advantageous to work 5.5 days since you don't have anything else to do. In summary, the answer to the question, would I move to the Congo or live in the Congo? I would say yes, hesitantly, but I would say yes. I am, uh, there's missionaries that's still over there. There's contractors who live there, uh, you know, make it their home. So it is a good, place to live. Um, Not only because you can you can see if you're working, you can really see an effort that you're doing and making a difference. So it's, it gives you a good feeling. So you get paid, plus you see where you're actually doing something that means something to people. Where here in the United States, it's a job and it may not be that fulfilling, but in the Congo, things are going to be fulfilling because everything is needed and so forth. I lived in Germany for almost 12 years and it was good and I could see the same thing. It was like 8 hours to fly back to the United States from Germany. From Congo, it would take you maybe about 25 hours to get back, but it's still doable. When I came back, I enjoyed, being in the United States, but, it was something that I enjoyed but it was a lot. living in Germany is a lot easier and more leisurely, and those cons that I just mentioned of not having the infrastructure, not having good health care, and not having leisure type thing, you had those in Germany. So if there was a choice, I would of course pick Germany, Europe, or someplace like that if I was going to be out of the country. But also, in Germany, you may not be in a situation where you're going to be making a big difference in the lives of other people. And I think that's the biggest thing of being in the Congo. You're not only contributing to society who really needs your help, it's so that you would get a bonus out of that and you would be really fulfilled by that. And sometimes that is even better than making another extra $20,000 or $30,000 or something. You get that good feeling that you're doing something in other people's lives. So, that's my take on the question of would I live, uh, in the Congo, permanently, or whether, uh, how I would do it. So thank you for the question. And, uh, as always, if you got questions, please send those in. Let's see, don't have any more questions today, but you can always drop a comment wherever you're watching this video at, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook. You can always drop a comment in there. And if it's a question or a topic that probably, I'll talk about it at some time. So thank you very much. And I'd like to thank my good friends, both Lou and Frank, for stopping by. They are always, cheering me on, and I really appreciate their time and effort. So, with that, we're going to call it another episode, another one done, and we will be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock for another episode of Talking About Congo. Uh, as always, I would like for you to take care of you, take care of yourself, take care of your family, be safe, uh, wear your mask, and wash your hands frequently, and be blessed. We'll talk to you later.